Hello all, this is Praful from Informatica. In this video, we'll see how to use lookup transformations in Informatica. So basically, the lookup transformation will have three parts. So in the first part of this video, we'll see the basics of lookup transformation. So here is the agenda of this video. First, we'll see what is lookup transformation. Then we'll see lookup versus joiner. Then we'll see how to use lookup as a passive transformation and how to configure lookup as an active transformation, followed by the types of lookup, that is nothing but the connected and unconnected lookup. So let's start. Here is our first topic, that is what is lookup transformation. So as the name suggests, lookup is a transformation only. Okay, so now you can say, Praful, what is this? You just said lookup is a transformation only. We also know this. Okay, yeah, fine. So lookup transformation is used to look up a source qualifier or target to get the relevant data. So it is a kind of join operation in which one of the joining tables is the source data and other joining table is the lookup table. So the lookup transformation is used to retrieve data based on a specified lookup condition. When I say lookup condition, might be you are not aware of that condition right now. Okay, so let me tell you, when you will create a lookup, you will have one condition column. So in that condition column, you have to specify a condition that this is my condition and I want the data for for the data which matches the particular condition. So the lookup will give you the desired output after matching that condition. Okay, so when a mapping task includes a lookup transformation, then the task queries the lookup source based on the lookup fields and a lookup condition which we have specified in our condition column. So the lookup transformation returns the results of the lookup to the target or another transformation. So basically, suppose you have created a lookup and it is connected to target. Straightforwardly, it is connected to target. So where your lookup result will go? In the target, correct? And suppose if that lookup is connected to some another transformation. So where will that result of the lookup will go? To the other transformation, correct? Okay. So let's take an example, like how we can use like why we use a lookup transformation. Okay, so we can use a lookup transformation to retrieve retrieve from a database table for codes used in our source data. Okay, so now let's move to our next topic, that is a pretty confusing topic, like how lookup is passive or how it is considered as active transformation. Okay, so basically we can configure the lookup transformation to return a single row or multiple rows. So when we will configure the lookup transformation to return only a single row, the lookup transformation is passive. Now you might think that how can we consider lookup as a passive just by this definition? Okay, so let me explain this. Actually, lookup returns the values into return or output port whenever the lookup condition matches. And it will return null values into return or output port whenever the condition fails. So like if you have a condition, so what are the two possible scenarios? Either that condition will be true or false, correct? So that is what I am telling. If the lookup returns the lookup will return the values into return or output port whenever the lookup condition will match. If it doesn't match, then the lookup will return null or default values. So in this way, we can consider it as a passive because it always returns the exact number of records or values from the input to the its return port. In other words, you could say that it's a passive transformation. Why? Because it does not change the number of records processed. Note this point, that it does not change the number of records processed. And this is why we consider lookup as a passive transformation. Now let's move to our next topic, that is how to configure lookup as an active transformation. So basically what we did earlier, we configured lookup to return only a single row that was matching that lookup condition. So now we'll configure lookup in such a way that it will return all the rows that match a lookup condition. Hence a lookup transformation is active, where it can return more than one row. And in passive, what it was doing, it was returning just a single row. And here it will return more than one row for any given input. So from Informatica 9 onwards, there is one addition in the option of lookup policy on multiple match. So where you will see this example, any guesses? Okay, so you will see this example when you will go to your lookup, when you will create a lookup and go to lookup properties, you will see this option, lookup policy on multiple match. So if you'll select use all values, so using this property, one input row can give multiple output rows, that is number of input rows is not equal to number of output rows. However, this property is available only for connected lookup. Please note this point that this property is only available for connected lookups and unconnected lookups are still passive. So now let's move to our next topic, that is a pretty hot topic, that is lookup versus. Now here is our next topic, that is joiner or lookup. So while dealing with lookup, one of the most hot topic is what to use, lookup or joiner, like what is best for us. So okay, let's clear this today. So joiner is an active transformation and lookup is a passive transformation. So now you can say that Praful, you just explained that lookup can be passive or can be active. Yeah, it's correct. But suppose we are not using that property policy on multiple matches, then what will happen? Just think, what will happen? Lookup will be passive or active? Okay, it's passive only. So that is why I said that joiner is active transformation and lookup is passive transformation. So joiner operates on sources whereas lookup operates on sources as well as target. Joiner doesn't support non-equijoins whereas lookup supports non-equijoins. So lookup uses dynamic and static cache whereas joiner doesn't. Now you might think what is dynamic and what is static cache. Okay, so as I told you that we'll discuss different cache concepts in lookup in our next video, that is part 2 of the lookup transformation. So joiner transformation does not match for the null values whereas lookup transformation matches for null values. Now joiner will do left outer, right outer, normal, full outer types of joins whereas lookup will do only left outer join. Now you might think, okay, finally our joiner is better in some aspect. Okay, but joiner will do outer, right outer, normal, full outer types of join whereas lookup can also have all these joins in the SQL override. So no restrictions on that. But yes, once you prepare the data set, then it is true that you can have only a normal join. So now you can say, okay, lookup is better. So how about a twist? So suppose you are using a flat file, then in this condition, like what will use? Like you are using a flat file as a source, or so what will you use, joiner or lookup? Just think. Okay, so let me tell you, we'll use joiner. Now you can ask why. Okay, so because sorted joiner uses condition and caches less rows, whereas lookup caches always the whole file. So if the file is not sorted, it can be comparable. Okay, so now let's move to our next topic, that is the types of lookup, that is connected and unconnected lookup. So what is connected lookup? A connected lookup transformation is a part of the mapping data flow. With connected lookups, you can have multiple return values, like you can return multiple values if you are using a connected lookup. That is, you can pass multiple values from the same row in the lookup table out of the lookup transformation. So now you might ask, where can we use connected lookup? So some examples like suppose you want to find a name based on some department name or department number. Like you want to find a employee name based on a department name or department number, you can use a connected lookup. Like you want to find a value based on, some range of dates, then you can use connected lookup. Suppose you want to find a value based on multiple conditions, then you can use connected lookups. Okay, then what is unconnected lookup? An unconnected lookup transformation exists separate from the data flow in the mapping. You might write will write an expression using the lookup reference qualifier to call the lookup within another transformation like expression transformation. So now, what are the uses of unconnected lookup? Like suppose you want to, let's suppose you want to test the results of that lookup in an expression. So you can use unconnected lookup. Let's say you want to filter the records based on the lookup results. Then you can, use unconnected lookup. Suppose, you want to call the same lookup multiple times in the mapping. Then also you can use unconnected lookup. So note this point. Like if you want to call the same lookup multiple times in a mapping, then you can use unconnected lookup. Okay, so this is all from this part of this video. In the next part, we'll see different type of cache concepts. So as I said, we'll discuss in detail about cache concepts, and then in the next part, like after that, we'll see a quick demo on lookup. So for this lookup transformation, you can refer this product documentation. And one more thing, like if we would love to hear your feedback, and you can give your feedback at supportvideos@informatica.com, or you can also use our Twitter handle. Okay, so bye bye, have a good day.